Hit the field, blast off, watch them all fall. This is AFC North talk. Got me hype, it's about to be a touchdown. Got the Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, and the Browns. Are you listening? It's time to get it hype. Tune in when the season poppin'. Yeah, we going live. Hey, knock them out. Ay, first down, going hard. Yes, indeed. AFC North talk. Let's go. Hey, AFC North talk.
Welcome to another edition of AFC North Talk. Here we are, season C, week 1 preview. Thank you to Chubby's for sponsoring this show. Check the link below. We're going to be talking about Chubby's in a little bit. Great shirts. Go check them out. Get your $10 off from Chubby's. Also, there is a poll. And we're going to be doing a poll for every game. Steelers, Jets there. Yeah. Steelers, Jets there in the on the live chat. Go check that out. Go vote for that one. Let's get it started right away. Oh, and super chats are available if you want to get your comment, questions, whatever it is. Put that super chat. We do appreciate that, and that's a way to support the show. Jared, I'm gonna start with you. This is revenge game for both quarterbacks, right? Because both quarters are almost like a trade. I also would like to know what's going on with Heyward, because I would have thought that he was gonna be playing. He might be playing or not. I don't know. He's been in practice with jerseys or hasn't been practicing. I haven't followed. I know he said, or I saw the video. I sent it to you guys that he said like I haven't made enough money for my family. I think it was
so what's happening is that for anybody who's not kept up with the Steelers or anything like that. So he signed a contract extension last year, 2-year extension, and then it was like the second week of training camp, he starts holding in because he wants more money. And 99 times out of, we talked about it on the show already, so I might be, repeating myself a little bit. 99 times out of 100, I'm team player, millionaires over billionaires, all of that. Cam, if you wanted more money, you shouldn't have signed the contract. And if you wanted incentives in that contract, then you should have had your agent put that in the contract.
Yep.
So, It would be completely different if he was in a contract year in like 27 coming off an all-pro year. Absolutely 100% pay Cam Heyward. They just paid him last year. They gave him another extension. And for a guy who's made over $130 million in his career to talk about, I don't feel valued at all. I got to have tough conversations with my family, decide if I want to play. Get the fuck out of here. Like, respectfully speaking, look, I'm so serious. I'm so serious when I say I would not shed a singular actual factual tear if they traded him. Not one. Every offseason, it seems like we have this conversation of Cam Heyward be like, I want more money. I'm not happy. Cam, bro, what more could you want? They've given you deal after deal after deal. They've set your family up for generational wealth. You've made more money than 99.9% of the world will ever see. They let your brother hang out and take up a roster spot. Like,
that's part of the contract, I'm assuming. Like,
what more do you want, dude? And by the way, he went on like a little rant talking about how everybody needs to lay off Connor Heyward. Why? If his name was Connor Smith, he wouldn't be there, dude. We all know that. Mm-hmm. So it's very annoying that Cam Heyward, like the Steelers played the Jets on Sunday, man. And all that anybody can talk about is Cam Heyward bitching and moaning about more money. It's so annoying. Like, I would love to talk about anything else. I would love to talk about Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and what they could look like going up against Sauce Gardner and a really good Jets defense. But all we can talk about is Cam Heyward playing this will they, won't they, or will I, won't I, when over the offseason, when we were waiting for Aaron Rodgers to sign, he's like, hey, there's no skin off my back if he doesn't sign. You either want to be a Steeler or you don't want to be a Steeler. And for a guy who claims to give a shit about winning a Super Bowl, all that he actually seems to give a shit about is more money for Cam Heyward. So I'm over it. I'm very done.
Because Boswell's not holding in anymore, correct?
Boswell's going to play. Yeah. Like, that's, he played in the preseason finale. I think he just did like a kickoff or an extra point just to get a kick in before the season starts. Like, all right, yeah, I'm still Chris Boswell. just checking. Cam Heyward, man, like his words say one thing, his actions say another, and he comes off as incredibly hypocritical, and it's just incredibly annoying and frustrating to have to play this game every single year with him. And yeah, I would not shed a tear whatsoever if they just said, fuck it. We drafted Derek Harmon. He'll be back in a week. YA Black looked good in the preseason. We'll trade him for a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick. Gives us more assets to use to trade up for a quarterback next year. We'll roll with them.
Is this Jared or is this? Have you had some Mike Brown influence or something? You've been chilling with Mike Brown, Katie Blackburn for a little bit or something.
It's very annoying, bro. It's so incredibly annoying that. And look, man, I understand. Like, I try not to talk about like these guys in the sense of like, oh, it's more money than any of us will ever make. I totally get it's not the same thing, but there's exceptions to every rule. And for a dude who just signed a contract extension last offseason, already complaining that he wants more money, then you shouldn't have signed the contract last offseason if you didn't like how much money was on it. So it's incredibly annoying, incredibly frustrating. I don't want to talk about Cam Heyward anymore. I'm very over talking about Cam Heyward. In terms of the game, I'm excited. I'm very excited. If he plays, great. If he doesn't, fuck him. Send him somewhere else. I couldn't care less at this point.
I can feel the toxicity coming. Full hate.
I could not care less anymore at this point.
Man. Who's his agent?
I do not know off the top of my head.
He needs to be mad at his agent. He shouldn't be mad at you guys. You got to be mad at his agent for taking.
If it was like one of like the like, I'm pretty sure he's not a Cantor guy, and I feel like we would know if he was a Mulgeta guy. So I don't think he's either of them.
He's not a Mulgeta guy.
He's definitely not. Yeah, Mulgeta is.
So this is what I see for the Steelers injury report. Just to add to the context, Nick Herbert limited practice, questionable. Derek Harmon, he's out, and I think he's out for a couple of weeks. Correct, Jared?
He had the knee injury. Yeah.
Yep.
They're hoping that it's just this game that he'll be back for week 2 against Seattle.
But the interesting thing here is Friday, so today, Cam Heyward full participant.
Yesterday was a veteran rest day. Like that's all it was. I know Schefter.
What does he need a veteran rest day?
I was gonna say
he's rested all camp.
And speaking of that, on Believe in Steelers, everybody can go listen to that if you're a Steelers fan. I talked with Brian Batko of the Post Gazette, and he kind of said the same thing. It was like, well, TJ Watt practiced yesterday, and Darius Slay practiced yesterday, so like it's bad semantics. Like it's not the best look if you're Cam Heyward, especially in this situation.
I'm trying to see if there's like a draft period of Cam Heyward that we can compare money wise. Like, hey, did this guy get similar money throughout his career?
I think the only comparison, like right
Marcel
now,
Darius?
I think the only one that you can really compare right now is Chris Jones because they're both a little bit older. But Chris Jones has also been a huge piece of 3 Super Bowl winners. So
I'm saying like career earnings because like that's what I'm trying to get at with him is like, does he feel like there was some money he just never got access to, and that's why he's doing this at the end of his career?
This year exploded in market.
Yeah, but he's gotten 146 million over his career. I mean, somebody can do the math for me, but Marcel Darius is similar, really good DT in his same class. He only played till 2019 though, so there's like 5 years of extra revenue. Got 87 million throughout that time. I mean, it's pretty comparable to what Cam's been getting, and then obviously those numbers have gone up over the years with the explosion in the cap. Right, he went from like an $11 million cash guy to a consistent 15, 16, 14. Like, what's he trying to get? Like 18, 20? What's the number he's shooting for?
I mean, there's no way he's going to get market value. Like, he's not going to get a $16 million raise. But if they get it up to 20, then that might get the job done. I don't know. But it's annoying either way.
He's trying to run 5 extra. Meanwhile, Chris Boswell out there can't get an extra $500,000 from fucking ownership.
Anything like Chris Boswell is just asking for pennies at this point. It's like, yeah, just give me an extra, $500,000 for being, arguably the best kicker in football right now, please and thank you.
That's
again,
crazy.
It's different. And I've said it on here before. Like, Boz signed a deal back in 2021. I believe he's entering the final year of his deal, or next year is going to be the final year of his deal. He wants to get it locked up. Whatever. That's fine.
He's 34.
Boswell is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be around for. He's a kicker. He'll be around for a while.
Well, I mean, we know that like Justin Tucker fell off before the whole story came out. Yeah. Arguably, it's why the story came out. Well, like, what age was Justin Tucker last year?
I think he was 30.
It's got to be older than that because he was on the team that won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he's old. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's 35 right now. So last year he was 34.
It's around that time for kickers, man. Like, they don't. Some of them last till 40, but don't get into the Brady complex where you're like, oh, this guy was it Vanderjack or fucking Vinatieri lasted forever. And everybody's like, yeah, kicker should last forever. I'm like, nah, they're like most athletes. 35, it's over, bro. Like, your back starts hurting, your form gets to shit. I mean,
Vinatieri wasn't even doing kickoffs at the end of his career.
Tiger was 35 when his golf game went to shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's not that aggressive of a sport, the thing you're doing, it's gonna go. Like mid-30s are brutal.
Yeah. So outside of any sort of like contract stuff, when it comes to the game, I fully expect it to be a low scoring game. We didn't see Aaron in the preseason, didn't see DK in the preseason. So I do think that that'll play a part in what the offense looks like. And then offensively for the Jets, like it's Garrett Wilson and Garrett Wilson. That's about it. There's a whole lot of, Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard. Elijah Vera Tucker went down for the season with a triceps injury, so that's not going to bode well for their offensive line. Although, like, they have Membo. They drafted Olufashanu last year, so it's 2 tackles that they, are pretty high on. But, regardless, if you're Membo, your first taste of NFL action is going up against TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig. Like, that's not going to be easy. And like the Steelers typically do pretty well against mobile quarterbacks, and it's a built-in advantage that they had Justin last year. They know, some of his, what's the word I'm looking for? The things that he likes to do. They know his abilities and whatnot. They, you'd like to think that they know how to keep him somewhat on, keep a cap on him. So I think the biggest mismatch of the game is the Steelers defense against the Jets offense, especially in the secondary where outside of Garrett Wilson, man, there's just not a lot there. And, the Steelers bringing in Jalen Ramsey, bringing in Darius Slay. I mean, it's a big upgrade over Dante Jackson and the rotating door of Beanie Bishop and Cam Sutton that they had in the slot last year. So I think defensively, the Steelers, you could talk me into saying like the Steelers won't give up double-digit points against the Jets. Like it could be like a 16-9 game, something like that. But the prediction that I have put out just about everywhere is Steelers winning 16-10 in a low-scoring game where Boz kicks 3 field goals. They get 1 touchdown. The offense, again, doesn't look great. They protect the ball. Defense plays well, probably gets a takeaway or 2, and that plays into them coming away 1-0.
Chris Boswell needs David Malgetta, bro, because he's made $38 million in his career, which is a lot of money.
That's
right?
pretty nice for a kicker.
Yeah, it's like what, $5 million short of one Deshaun Watson year.
That's a good point. Yeah,
and like you think about it, you're a good kicker. You got leverage, man. Like they don't use it at all. Like he should definitely be making more than like $4 or $5 million. Because like, what was Pittsburgh gonna do if he didn't want to go to camp and fucking participate in anything?
I mean, look, man, he single-handedly won them 2 games last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it if you're like regular run-of-the-mill kicker, you're part of the fucking cycle around the league, you're glasses guy, you're on the UFL one year, you're on the Colts other. But if you're like a guy who's gotten like multiple contracts with your team, hey man, at some point you could be like, enough, dog. Give me $10 million. Like, and they're gonna have to do it because what the fuck else are they gonna do?
But Q, you tell me that by the way, the line is -2.5. But Q, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Steelers versus Jets. It's going to be ugly, nasty, gross Week 1 football. Right?
Ryan Eagle and JJ Watt are going to be like, after like the 9th punt in the 3rd quarter, they're going to be like, oh my God, like get me out of this god awful stadium.
But yeah, it's gonna be brutal Week 1 football. I just hope the sun isn't out so that the vibes match what this game's gonna feel like. This is a 1:00 game, right?
Yeah.
Thank God. All right.
Sure is. By the way, 1:00, the best window in football.
I agree.
I do agree with that. I feel like most fans agree with that.
It's a controversial take when we take it to Saturdays too, because people get all upset about like the big game being at noon. I'm
big noon. I'll say it right now. Big noon is the best. Noon kickoff is the best. 3:30 is good. Primetime, I hate when my team plays in primetime. I've said that for years. I don't like primetime games when my team plays in them. I just can't do it. Noon and 1:00. Oh, it's prime, man.
Yeah,
especially when they win, because then you got the entire like 3:30 or 4 o'clock slate to be happy. All right, my team won. I can just watch this without any stress. I can gamble a little bit. 8 o'clock rolls around. All right, might have a little bit of ice cream. I just enjoy myself, have a drink, and watch the night game before I go to bed. If they lose, it sucks. But for the most part, it's
when they lose, I'm not watching anything else.
Well, no, here's how you do it, right? Because look, I've lost a lot at 1:00. You lose at 1:00, yeah, wipes out that 4 o'clock window. You're not watching that Pat Mahomes, Raiders game, right? You're not watching that. But you got so much time between that end of that 1:00 window and the start of Sunday night. you can be back up for Sunday night. You know, you can be all right. You done did the arguments, then somebody got on your nerves, and now you're like, all right, guys, we're okay. Like, you know, and then you're on the week 2 by that point. But if we're ranking football start times, the only thing I will say is that the midday start time, best start time, because you get best of both worlds, end the game at night, start the game during the day. Usually the best commentary teams. And
That's true. That's a good shout.
The reason the Big Noon is better right now than the 3:30 spot is purely because CBS lost the SEC contract, right? But when CBS had the SEC contract, 3:30 Alabama LSU, there's nothing fucking better.
All right, listen, man. The problem with that is that it wasn't Alabama LSU every week. I know everybody's shitting on what the Big Ten plays.
It was sometimes Mississippi State versus like Missouri.
There were plenty of like week 1 games where it was like Auburn and the University of Roast Beef. Like, let's come on now.
But then you get to see 2 of the most talented teams go against each other in 2019, and it's like, all the bullshit's worth it. Like, you know, it's just what it is.
It is weird though for the Big Ten because they also have Fox as well that they got to appease, and I feel like most of the Big Ten games are on Fox and Big Noon rather than CBS.
You truly just get garbage on CBS, and it's like Indiana versus Michigan. Like,
this past week, I was at the game. It was Penn State, Nevada. It was Penn State, Nevada for this past week. I was like, all right, well,
it's lost all of its staying power because like it's not Michigan, Ohio State at 3:30. With like that's all stuff we're used to watching at noon in the Big Ten, which is why the Big Noon game will always feel bigger right now. But when they had the SEC license, you knew that the big SEC game, if there was one that week, it's either on ESPN, which it wasn't all the time, but it's either on ESPN, but it's definitely going to be 3:00 SEC window.
The theme song is pretty dope.
You get fucking excited. They open the Bryant-Denny Stadium, and look, even if Alabama's not playing anybody, the hope that Alabama loses is such a fucking motivator during that era that, you know, it was the best thing ever. But we've straight off topic. Where am I supposed to be right now?
You're sorry.
Tangent. By the way, Clay in the comments is calling for a BBB. I am absolutely not doing that.
You ain't got. Where's the sound effects, Sonny? Where's it at?
Jared has
dusted up
us. We wouldn't even know it if Jared did it. Look, Jared, for somebody who has dealt with this for what, 1 calendar year now?
Yeah. This is the. When did I join the show? Like week 2 last year.
Yeah,
something like that.
He has very natural. Big booty beat down adequate right here, right? Because the guy who was here before you, the 2 guys who were here before Jared, all-time worst discipline we've ever seen.
With the I've seen it enough over the past few years. The Steelers aren't going to win very many like blowout games. That's just probably not going to happen. They might get one this year if we get like 1 game of like vintage Aaron.
It's going to be a game where like the Steelers get up by like 12 or 14 early. And it kind of just fucking sits there for a long time. And then the Jets get a late touchdown, and you're like, something might happen. And then the Jets do that thing where you're like, oh, yeah, Justin Fields is not a like complete quarterback, or the Jets aren't very good. So they're going to go 3 and out like 4 times when they have the chance to win. And then Mike Tomlin, he's not going to help anything. He's going to punt like 2 times when you can just kill the game. And then they're going to steal their way out of that in the late 4th quarter and then win the game here. What I do think will be interesting to watch is like the Steelers didn't make a lot of bets on getting a little bit older, right? Like, I think somebody brought it up. There is like some dream team Philadelphia Eagles vibes about this because you look around the roster and you're like, what the fuck? They got DK over there. They got Darius Slay, right? You know, just Jalen Ramsey. So it's going to be interesting. Is that defense going to be able to be as good as it's promised? And truly, like, what does Aaron Rodgers look like? Are we going to get a guy who's able to give you 2-3 drives a game like last year? Or is this going to be somebody who's able to consistently move the ball on the offensive side of the ball? Obviously, he's not going to be old Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, nobody's expecting that. I saw the clip of him running the other day. It's crazy. That guy used to be an athletic quarterback back in the day, and it's just, it's all gone.
Dude, the final like screen grab of like Madden 12 in the intro is him diving in the end zone against the Bears.
No, it was like, I remember watching Chris Collinsworth talk about Aaron Rodgers, and he was like, this guy's just a revolution at the quarterback position. Being able to throw and move as well as this guy does,
and he did.
Incredible. And it was true about Aaron, right? Not true anymore. He is not that guy anymore. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting what level of consistency they can get. And like, you know, a lot of questions about Arthur Smith, how he's going to use this offense. Is he going to use Jonnu Smith a million times or whatever's going to happen here? Like, you know, I want to see what this Pittsburgh team looks like against real competition, a real defense. And that's what the Jets will provide. I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, they're going to look great for like a couple drives here. Maybe early on they look really good for a couple drives. You start to think to yourself, hey, man, Steelers going to be fucking good this year. And then it kind of just like, all right, they're not going to put up 30 points in this game, right? They're going to put up like 20.
If they put up 20, I'll be pretty content, because if they put up 20, there's no way they're losing.
Yeah.
Like, no offense to Justin Fields. I hope Justin Fields does very well. But the Jets, I would be surprised if the Jets put up more than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Justin Fields guy.
I know
in the world. So, like, I don't think he's good, but we'll see what happens. Also,
if you're looking for some anytime touchdown bets this game, everybody, all of them are plus money. So Jalen Warren's plus 150, DK Metcalf's plus 175, Pat Freiermuth is plus 400. Jonnu Smith is plus 470. So, you know, it might be something worth looking at, but bet the under.
Heyward, what's that plus? What's that?
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're gonna make Cam happy, dog.
Not enough money in the world.
Do the tush push.
Plus 1,000.
Over under
Heyward has
37.5.
It was 38.5, so it's dropping, everybody. If you want to bet the under, get it before it continues to drop. Connor Heyward, by the way, the longest odds of any Steelers skill position player to score a touchdown at plus 1,900.
I will take him.
all the shit I've talked, he's going to be the guy who scores the
He's going to score a game-winning touchdown, Jared.
Yeah, and I'm going to really have to sit there and be like,
you're going to see the Heywards go out there, celebrate, and everybody's like, man, ain't the Heyward family awesome? And then Jared's going to be the one guy who's like, oh.
They may as well just rename the team the Pittsburgh Heywards at this fucking point. Like, it's
man, the hatred. Ace, what do you think is going to happen in this game?
Man, I think this is a game, and Quincy kind of pointed it out, and that's where I was going to go with it. This is going to be a game where I think that Pittsburgh plays a ton of 12. Like, you got to think about it. Like, DK Metcalf versus Sauce, they don't really have, like, at the receiver position, anybody else that's a threat. So I think that they go with the 2 tight end kind of approach in this game with Jonnu as well as Muth. I think they're going to try to get stuff to DK, but obviously with Sauce on them, that's going to be some blanket coverage. I think offensively, Pittsburgh should be able to do fine in this game. I think when I look at this game at its surface, I just can't trust the Jets. I never could trust the Jets in any kind of situation. They're never a serious team. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers, we know one thing that they're going to do. They're going to take care of business. Mike Tomlin's going to come out week 1 ready to go. And I just don't trust Justin Fields either. I mean, like Justin Fields had to have been, I'm going to ask Jared this, but was he the scout team quarterback last year for the defense?
I don't know. That's a good question.
He was like the backup at one point. So like
he might have been.
They've seen him.
Skyler?
No, Skyler wasn't there last year. Kyle Allen was the number 3 last year.
Kyle Allen. So yeah,
I don't on the week, right?
I guess so. Like for like Ravens week, I assume he probably was for sure. But I wasn't at the facility every day to know.
And the defense knows everything about him. Now, you could say – I don't know if you could say the same for the Jets because I don't believe the coach was there last year. So I don't know if it's the same kind of thing. But the Steelers team knows everything about Justin Fields. And, I mean, we've seen Justin Fields, and he just hasn't really lived up to what he was supposed to be. And I thought it was kind of crazy that the Jets just, like, jumped on him like he was just this crazy, like, quarterback. He's kind of got – I mean, he's like a Lamar Jackson version of Daniel Jones. It's like, yeah, there's some hype there and stuff. He was a first-round pick and everything, but he hasn't lived up to what he's supposed to be.
Justin Fields is the Cam Newton of Daniel Jones's.
Yeah, like he can run. He can run. He can do that. But I think like for a team like Pittsburgh that has seen Lamar Jackson, they're going to have a plan for that. He can't throw like Lamar Jackson. That's the biggest issue. Like he's not an accurate quarterback whatsoever. And he's going against a vaunted Steelers defense. Like, that doesn't bode well for him. Like, the guy talking about the triple B, like, I laughed at it. But if Justin Fields has, like, a meltdown game in this one could get out of hand pretty quickly. I think it would be from a defensive touchdown perspective. I know people are thinking, like, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to go out there. But if they get, like, a defensive touchdown or something like this, they could potentially – blow this game open. But
this game in Pittsburgh or in New York?
It's in New York.
In New York.
It's in New York. It's in New York. So I just think that the Steelers easily win this one. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, the Jets, I don't believe in the Jets. And they got worse than they were last year. I mean, they're trying this new thing with Aaron Glenn. Maybe the defense will be pretty strong. I just believe more in what Mike Tomlin's going to do. So when I go head-to-head, coach-to-coach, Aaron Glenn is a rookie head coach. Maybe he does some things there, but it's not going to be against Mike Tomlin. I just don't see that happening. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this one.
I had Dave Damashek on Believe in Steelers, and he made the point that like this is probably as close to a must win as you can get for week one. Because if the Steelers lose to Justin Fields and the Jets week one, and like crazy. you're going across the field to shake hands like, all right, well, good job, Justin. Wish we would have kept you. Sorry. And then you're 0-1 after losing to Aaron Rodgers' former team. Like the vibes aren't going to be good, man.
Yeah,
and that's something that you gotta get out of there with a win. So
the thing is, if you think about this game and you think about these teams, what did the Jets do to get better? They brought Justin Fields, and if you don't believe in Justin Fields, like I'm here with you. I think I will take him as a backup for sure.
You'll take him as your fantasy quarterback. You'll take him as your fantasy quarterback, not your franchise quarterback.
And then, but if you think they're a wash, let's say you think you're a wash, you still see the Steelers as a better team, even from last year. Like the thing is here, the offense might look ugly because there's a lot of new pieces, right? Between DK Metcalf and Rodgers and Warren being now their everyday down back. Okay, so you have the three main guys in that offense. And the O-line has a little bit of a shake-up too. But that defense still, for the most part, the core is there. And the offense on the other side, that offense ain't it. Like, that offense, it wasn't good last year. I don't think it's going to be good this year. Yeah, I actually have them in my parlay because last year I remember every time I put an AFC
the infamous Sunny parlay.
I have it. I have a 7-leg parlay, and I have it.
Sorry,
I haven't. At Steelers -2.5. I mean, you all picked them more than 3, so I put them in my parlay. I think the Steelers win. I actually think like you guys, it's gonna be a little bit ugly. I think they scored 2 touchdowns. I agree here with Ace. I think one is gonna be on the defensive side.
If Jalen Ramsey gets a pick 6, I'm taking my shirt off and running around my living room. I am ecstatic.
Guess what? So is Jalen Ramsey.
But anyway, I have the Steelers winning probably 20-6. That's the score I have.
That's pretty good.
Hey, I'd be very happy with that. But I did see somebody, I want to say it was Frederick in the chat, talk about betting Connor Heyward to score 2 or more touchdowns. It's not on FanDuel, but if you go to Bet365 and bet Connor Heyward to score 2 or more touchdowns, if you throw 10 on it and it happens, you win just over $1,200. So don't do it.
Might as well give them $10.
Absolutely, don't do that. Do not do that.
That's
but
a degenerate gambler.
If you do that, definitely call the hotline. But if it is there for you to do it. If you, for some reason, have a gut feeling that something that
is
will
an
happen.
Uncut gems type bet right there.
It very much is. Same odds as Kenneth Gainwell to score 2 touchdowns. I would feel much better about that bet than I would Connor Heyward. Yeah.
Rex Fortune here.
Like
Shout out to
adding
you. Thank you
backup
for the super
quarterback
chat.
snaps to your parlays.
Ace, aren't you glad your team got a deal done with your edge instead of getting underpaid in a trade to a team that
Micah Parsons? Yeah, that was disgusting. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not living that Dallas Cowboys life. I mean, they looked decent last night. In the first half, I was like, all right, this defense is cooked without Micah Parsons. But, I mean, they're in a situation where that return was nasty. I'm not going to lie. That return that Kenny Clark getting Kenny Clark back in return was a little nasty. And then the Jerry Jones speech afterwards, everything with that whole situation was a disaster.
I would just like to point this out to Cowboys fans because I've seen a lot of them be like, hey, man, it's pretty good. We only lost to the Champs by like 3, and it's like your rival or whatever it is. Bro, the best player on the defense took himself out of it before the game started.
Yeah.
And they still beat you. And it wasn't really that close. Like, there were a couple of moments there where, like, that could have, like, made it interesting. with those throws to CD, but Philly had control of that game. They just couldn't finish the game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But you allowed a team that did not score any points in the second half, only had, a 4-point lead? I mean, I'm saying only. It was the same fucking lead they had at halftime they had in the game, right? Only had a 4-point lead to hold that lead against you. And again, they were able to do this without Jalen Carter there, who basically just decided, hey, bro, I'm out. Well, not decided. Dak Prescott definitely trolled him into spitting on him, which is just another notch in the Dak Prescott is a weird fucking guy column right there.
Oh, disagree. If you can take advantage of a weak-minded player to get themselves ejected, do it. Absolutely.
I would never, ever in my life decide, hey, I'm going to look at you in the eye and then spit straight at another man. They didn't lie about it in the press conference. Like, I was just spitting on the ground.
He spit at the ground. Come on.
Jared, have you ever spat on the ground?
I don't spit really much. I can't. I for some reason I can't get a good spit.
Who never do that? They just it's always down and around. Everybody goes down and around. Nobody goes straight forward.
He was in a pack of his teammates. He didn't want to spit on any of them by accident.
He spit right over the shoulder of his teammates. Right over him.
A field goal over the shoulder.
Yeah, you spit on my cleats. I'm an offensive lineman. I'm already disgusting down there. Nobody cares. He knows that. But you're spitting down and around. You spit down and around. You never spit forward. Nobody. Ace, have you ever spit on the ground forward when you know somebody's in the vicinity? Nobody ever does this. And he's at the press conference like, yeah, I was clearly just trying to expel some spit. Why you needed to spit right there, Dak?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm team Dak here. I also, like I said, I think being able to spit good is one of the like manliest things you can do. Like I think of like cowboys in like the old movies, just like spitting and like it hits something metal and it makes a dinging noise. Yeah, I can't spit like that. So
which brings me to my second point. It was a weak spit. It's split in two. Jalen Carter spit. That was one loogie.
It came right
straight in the chest, right in there. It was gross.
Did you see the joint where it was like, what do you think Dak Prescott said to him? Because I've seen some pretty strong accusations.
Nah, it probably wasn't nothing crazy. It was probably like some get back over there, stop playing with me type shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, nobody say nothing crazy like that in that setting in a football field. Yeah. But it was probably, man, go stop playing with me. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. I've never seen somebody do that not trying to get a fight started ever in my life. Oh, yeah. Not once. No, Dak acting like we don't know what he just. This is why we got beat up at Mississippi State. I'm like, this is the stuff where I'm like, yeah, you definitely got jumped. In spring break because this is the kind of stuff you do. That's wild. Okay.
So Sabrina here, shout out to you. Thank you for the donation. So glad my son can watch again due to
my god.
The NFL does it's trying to make its players like incredibly robotic at this point. And it is very frustrating to watch.
Well, it's weird because they wrote it back for like 10 years. They were like the Chad Johnson stuff happened. Randy Moss pulls his pants down, all this stuff. Okay, we got to roll it back, right? Okay, cool. They let this shit start to slide. They start putting celebration cameras in the end zone, start to embrace it. You see the celebrations on the fucking ads. And then now they're deciding to pull it back. And I just want to know this question. Who on any spectrum of anything is watching the NFL and saying, man, I love football, but I just can't deal with finger guns being pointed in celebration. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anybody on any political spectrum that's like, that's a problem that ever needs to be solved. Right. It doesn't stand out to me as a real issue. But yeah, now you can't. This is illegal. Can Isaiah Bond do this? You think that's gonna be legal?
You mean like a James Bond type?
Yeah, like the little lean at the.
That's fun.
I think that would be cool. I think that would be cool.
It's a gun.
It is
a gun.
You're not pointing it, but you're holding it. You know, I wonder if he's going to get flagged if he scores a touchdown like that.
I don't know. So so the 188 here says, I actually think
it'll be like Key Pills, the angle of the gun. It's like if it goes past here, it's a flag.
Maybe depending on the direction. Hugh's onto something. If anyone on this panel thought someone spit at them, They will react.
I don't know if
Let's
I'm
keep it
reacting
calm.
with the spit back, though. That's the only thing I would say. I don't think I'm reacting with the spit back. A spit back is a little weird to me. But if I thought you spit at me, it's definitely like I got to bum rush you and like yoke you up or something. Like, you done lost your mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That is very disrespectful.
You can get your spit back when you yoke somebody up and you just yell in their face. That's going to be natural, right? You're not going to get kicked out the game for that.
Yes.
But you can't get the loogie back. That's a little weird. Now y'all both being weird. Y'all playing tennis with body fluids. I don't like it.
Yeah. And Dak admitted Jalen asked him, "You spit at me?" Also, Bengals, Steelers, and Ravens get the win this week. And shout out to the 188 here.
Yeah, Dak, he said, "Did you spit at me?" And I bet Dak was like, "What if I did?"
Okay, Jared,
he gave him the old why I oughta.
Do you happen to have the readout ready?
Yes. All
right, let's play some Bills
before we get to whichever game we're doing next. I can't remember which
Ravens.
Sunday. Yeah, we'll do the Ravens and Bills next. Before we talk about Bengals and Browns. So let's talk about Chubbies. If you are hold on, let me find it. There we go. Chubbies is ready to help you with their NFL collection, whether you're tailgating, grilling, or riding the highs and lows of the game from your couch. Chubbies has the officially licensed NFL gear to keep you looking like the ultimate fanatic. With bold designs featuring your favorite NFL teams, Chubbies game day gear isn't just comfortable, it's a statement. Rep your team's logos in wildly comfortable polos, wave-making swim trunks, and gym-ready mesh shorts. All the comfort and swagger you need to take on every touchdown dance, chest bump, or dramatic fourth quarter meltdown. If you're not a jersey guy, this is an elite alternative. If you are a jersey fanatic, something tells me you'll love their NFL collection, because when you're invested in the game, your outfit should be too. For a limited time, use our exclusive code AFCNT for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/AFCNT. Yes, that includes the NFL collection. Let the thighs out and let the good times roll. Folks, for a limited time, our friends at Chubbies are giving listeners $10 off with the promo code AFCNT. Again, chubbyshorts.com/AFCNT. $10 off with the promo code AFCNT.
And it's in the description below. Go hit that link. Should take you there. Don't forget the code. Very nice, very moisture wicked fabric. If you're a person that gets hot quickly, you sweat a lot, it will dry like that. Great product. Rep your team. Go to Chubbies. Thank you, Chubbies, for the sponsorship. Okay, so what do you guys think is gonna be this percentage on the voting?
Steelers Jets?
Yeah,
it's gonna be way closer than it needs to be. This should be like a 30-70 vote here.
It'd be like 52-48.
52-48.
They're gonna get the majority. The
That's what I was
Jets are gonna get the majority if I know chat.
Okay, so what are you thinking, Q?
I'm thinking it's gonna be like 55-45. That's the closest.
But you're thinking Jets?
Yeah, but the chat's gonna go with Jets.
Okay, so it's 58-42 Steelers.
Okay. I knew they weren't gonna get the percentage that they should get.
So that was not bad. I thought like you two, Ace and Jared, that it was gonna be closer, but still up but closer. Okay, well, I put the next poll out here. Ravens and the Bills. And I'm going to give you the who's in and out of this game. So Isaiah's likely's out. Everybody knew that one. They're saying by week 3 is what they're hoping him to be back. Isaiah likely.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat Ricard hasn't practiced for a while. He's out. Jair Alexander, full participant, and Fahalele was sick, so he's back. And then for the Bills, did not practice the kicker, Tyler Bass.
Yeah, he's going on IR. So Matt Prater is the Bills kicker for the next, at least the next 4 weeks.
Elijah Moore, Elijah Moore should be back because he just is personal. That's all that it says. Tre'Davious White, I think he's probably going to be out.
Wait, Sonny, they got Elijah Moore over there?
Elijah Moore is a Bill.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And then they had Keon.
Former Browns over there.
Yeah, Keon Coleman. He is limited. He has been limited in practice.
He said today that he feels like somebody asked him if he's concerned about playing, and he said no. So it looks like Keon will play, but even so, like there's still a lot.
He hasn't practiced in a little bit.
And Keon Coleman still has a lot to prove. Like the jury's still out on him.
And then Benford came back, full participant.
Gabe Davis playing?
Shakir. Who?
Gabe.
I think they're putting him on practice squad to start.
Okay.
I'll have to look.
Well, I
It
mean,
might
but
need to
practice you
activate
can
him
bring 4 people from practice squad, right? Per
into the
game.
active.
Yeah.
Well, you
Is-
can do it up till game day, right? You can
Yeah.
activate people off the practice squad.
Yes.
It wouldn't surprise me if he does, though. I mean, he's been in that system before. He knows what goes into that. So
Yeah, just
Is Jair playing Sonny?
He was full participant, so he should be playing in this game. I think they're probably gonna limit his reps between him and Cheeto because he was out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is what I'm thinking in this game. Sorry, I was putting the polls up. This is a game. So week 1 is definitely the worst week to predict anything, right? All these teams are changing, blah blah blah.
Fair.
But there's 2 teams are one of the few teams that are very similar from last year. They upgraded here and there a couple of pieces, or downgraded depending on the case. That being said, if you think about Ravens and Bills, when they play in Baltimore a week, I don't know, 6, whatever it was, the Ravens shellacked them, right? We play in Buffalo, we lost by 2. But if you look at the box score, you watch that game, the Ravens lost because of the turnover margin. Ravens turned it over 3 times. Bills didn't turn over any time.
Mhm.
The game itself, the Ravens not dominated, but if you take the turnovers away, which you can't, the Ravens played the better game. What I'm thinking is this is another game because these 2 teams are so good and they're close to each other that it is a game that if a team, either team, really doesn't matter if it is the Bills or the Ravens, goes and loses the turnover margin by more than 1. I think you can lose the turnover margin by 1 and still win this game, whichever the 2 teams. But if you do what the Ravens did in the playoff, or even if it is a -2 to your side on the turnover margin, I think you lose this game. The line is -1.5 Bills. So essentially a picking game. It is in Buffalo. I think this is a game that the Ravens are going to try to run. Now, Pat Ricard is not there, so that's going to be interesting. They have a rookie fullback from Army that played really good in the preseason. We'll see what that means.
Holy shit! A rookie fullback from Army.
For Army.
Oh,
From Army.
what's his name?
I feel like it's Scott's, but I'm not sure.
If he's any good, you got to call him Sergeant Slaughter, right? Like,
that's good.
Yeah, you got to call him Sergeant Slaughter. I was hoping it was the quarterback that they had over at Army, right? Like, because wasn't he like, didn't he challenge Genty for like the rushing record last year?
Lucas Scott is his name.
Yeah, because they had a quarterback there that was had 40 touchdowns or something insane last year.
In Army, oh damn!
It was one of the.
They run the triple.
Yeah, they do. They do run the triple.
It was like a throwback Tim Tebow style dude. This big old boy just running through shit. Yeah.
So I think Lucas Scott, which is the fullback I think he's not only kind of gonna be elevated from the practice squad, he's probably gonna get activated to be the fullback because the Ravens are coming. I think in years past, or not years past, but if Isaiah's likely would have been healthy in this game, then they would have put Charlie Kohler. Mark Andrews has done sometimes fullback duties, or Isaiah's likely. But since you're only coming with 2 tight ends, 2 of your 3 tight ends, right? You don't want to put a tight end there on a regular basis, taking that pounding, right? So that was definitely a very interesting first wrinkle there in that game. Other than that, offensively, I think it leans to the Ravens. The cornerback situation from Buffalo last year, I didn't think it was great. I don't think they did that much better. They drafted the rookie from Kentucky. He's out. I don't know until what. I think he's in the pup.
He is.
So he's going to be out for a little bit. So I think offensively, the Bills are a team that they like to go lighter, put the safeties back, right? So with Baltimore, they have to almost play reverse how they like to play on defense, right? They will have to try to stack the box, which then the corners are not used to having those one-on-one island situations against anybody, right? The Ravens receivers, although D-Hop for D-Hop is not a burner, but the other 2 are very fast, Bateman and Flowers. So definitely interesting matchups there. I think that favors the Ravens. The other side is the one that I'm more curious to see how the Ravens defense plays against the Buffalo offense, because Buffalo doesn't bring you a lot of huge names. You have James Cook. He's a really good running back. He just got paid. Their O-line was really good last year. But other than that, receiver-wise, Shakir is their main guy, we will say. The Ravens should, in my opinion, in Kincaid, right? The Ravens should, in my opinion, have advantage on the defensive side. Now, again, opening season in Buffalo, it's definitely a hard game. Buffalo fans are great fans. This is not me dissing the Buffalo fan base. I think the Ravens win. I think the Ravens win by 4. I think it's going to be a close game to the end. I think it's probably going to be 20-16. So lower score than people might think. I hate when it's just a shootout side to side, like first half last week or yesterday, sorry. But I think it's going to be the Ravens' final drive, score a touchdown, finish it. Hopefully Mark Andrews so he can redeem himself. Obviously, this is a redemption game for, if anybody, more than Mark Andrews. So I think it's going to be a good game. Strong.
They're definitely going to script that first like red zone touchdown to him.
For Mark.
Like, yeah, they're going to try to like slide him underneath, put him on some like delayed rollout or something like that.
Yeah, I think they want him to get him back in it. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be a good game. Very fun game to watch. A close game. I think the Ravens edge it by 4 in Buffalo, which will be a good win. This is not going to be AC win, however it goes. Jared, I know this is your second team, so I'm gonna go with you because I know you are a quasi Buffalo. No, you're Jared, or not.
Is it even quasi at this point?
I'm a Josh Allen fan.
Allen fan.
Let's let up a little bit. Jesus Christ.
Go ahead, Jared. What do you think is gonna happen in this game?
The reigning defending MVP of our
There you go.
Joshua Patrick Allen will grace us with his presence on Sunday night, but the Ravens are going to win.
Okay.
We're gonna find out Jared runs Allen News.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I do not run Allen News. Let me get that out of the way. No, the way that the Bills have gone about building the depth of their defense has been infuriating. As somebody who wants to see Josh Allen win, like I'm so annoyed. Like Bills fans have come after me for calling it out, but like you look at like the issues that they had. What's that?
They brought Joey.
Hardy har. Like
you don't believe in Joey Bosa in 2025?
I'm not so much concerned about that.
Do they got Khalil Mack over there too?
They do not.
No.
That would have probably been the better choice to try to go out and get. But when it comes to like the secondary, like their cornerbacks are bad. And the way that they've addressed it is just bringing back middle-aged guys who used to play for the Bills. Like, all right, we don't have anybody behind Christian Benford and Max Harrison. Let's just bring back Tre'Davious White. He used to be in the Bills. Oh, he's already hurt again. Swell. Yeah. Let's bring back Dane Jackson. Oh yeah, he sucks. We're gonna cut him before the season starts. Safety-wise, Damar Hamlin sucks. Cole Bishop always hurt and not good. Taylor Rapp's fine.
They brought the other guy.
They signed Jordan Poyer, but he's on the practice squad.
Yeah.
He's on the practice squad. He's there as he's very much there just to be like a coach. That's all he's there for. And if somebody like, I almost said if somebody dies, but that's not good to say about the Bills. If something dire happens, then they can turn to Jordan Poyer, but he's very much there to be a coach. So the way that they've gone about this secondary isn't good. Tre'Davious White might not play, which means it'll be Christian Benford and day 3 rookie Dorian Strong as the number 2. Like, what are we doing, man? Like, that's just not going to get the job done. So the way that they've gone about building the depth of their defense, I don't like. It's a mismatch when it comes to matching up against Baltimore. We saw that last year early in the season on Sunday night. I don't think it's going to be like that lopsided. I think it'll be close. But yeah, the Bills live in nickel. The Ravens take advantage of that because Derrick Henry can just run through everybody. And it's just very frustrating watching the Bills, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because I just can't buy into Sean McDermott and I can't buy into what they're trying to do roster wise. It just doesn't make sense. Offensively, like I'm sure Josh will have a great game. Lamar will probably have a good game because of, they're both great talents, but overall, like the Ravens have the better roster, they have the better defense, and that's just going to be too much for the Bills to overcome. And maybe it'll be a blessing in disguise for the Bills. Maybe like if Lamar goes off for 300 and Derrick Henry rushes for $120, they'll be like, all right, maybe we should go sign somebody and try to improve this defense. So I think the Ravens win. I still think the Bills are going to be the 1 seed in the AFC. But there's a lot on that side of the ball that needs worked out, and Baltimore right now is just too much of a mismatch for them where I think they take advantage.
Cute.
Yeah, in these regular season matchups, I usually think Baltimore ends up playing better whenever these two teams match up.
If it was a playoff game, I'd pick the Bills naturally. But
yeah,
you know,
come on. I think we're all
come on. We know what's going to happen there. You know, there'll be
I'll
some.
be honest, Sonny would be just like he'd be nervous, dog. He'd be nervous. He would say,
I would be.
No one hits the wide open linebacker in a playoff game quite like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Yep.
The hate. But that's okay. That's okay. This is why we play the game. Go ahead, Q.
He said Roquan need to get traded to an AFC contender.
Hey, I'm just saying, Josh Allen be careful if he scrambles. Rowe's gonna be there, ready to.
Oh my God,
Is Rowe gonna be there?
Rowe's gonna be there.
Is
You wait and
Rowe
see.
gonna be there?
Josh is going to throw a Danish like a boomerang the other direction.
Rowe's gonna run after it.
This though, like for real, Roquan Smith will be there eventually.
No, he will bring him down.
Number 0 will be onto the scene eventually. Now, if he's like one of the last guys to pop into your TV screen, standing next to the pile, clapping up, it's probably Roquan Smith right there. But he's probably gonna have a tackle for that. But in all seriousness, the Ravens, I think, probably gonna come into this one a little bit better of a matchup, like Jared said, right? Like that deep offensive line, I think, is pretty good for the Ravens. I ranked them as number 1 in the AFC North. You got early season Derrick Henry without any battle wounds on him whatsoever. So he's going to be healthy, ready to go. You got early season Lamar, healthy, ready to go. And look, like some of the older guys that they're relying on right now is the best time to use them. So like maybe DeAndre Hopkins does look like half of what he used to be, right? Like you're going to get that early on. So yeah, I think Baltimore's going to be able to take this one. I don't think this is going to be close, and it's not because I don't think the Bills are a good football team. It's just because every game's not going to be close. And I think this is going to be one of those ones where like the Bills just don't put up their best effort. And this is we're kind of pissed off by halftime because we're like, hey, what the fuck, Buffalo? We thought this was going to be a nice little cap to the end of the night, and it's like 28-12. Like, you got 2 points off of safety for some random reason. So yeah, I don't think this one's going to be close. I think this is going to be one of those ones where everybody starts remembering that Baltimore is really good at regular season football. You're going to get Ryan Clark having ridiculous takes on ESPN. You're going to have a fun week here, man. By the way, Ryan Clark's been losing his mind the last 2 days.
Ryan Clark will go on Get Up or whatever, be like, we cannot sit here and talk about this on TV about how Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He always talks with his hands in this shit.
Yeah.
The way he says TV pisses me off, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. He doesn't say TV. He says TV every goddamn time. Ryan Clark, loved him as a player.
Favorite Steeler?
No. Liked him as a player. Like, hard-hitting, embodied what that rivalry between the Ravens and Steelers was in, the late 2000s, early 2010s. As an analyst, god-awful. Horrible.
Somebody in the chat saying Roquan gonna eat Josh's lunch. Well, he might.
Come on, Chad. You walking through that one. But I think if Josh Allen be scrambling and getting out of that pocket, I think Rowe will be there. And he will look. This is what happened. Y'all don't remember this, but last year when we played the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, which I think is a great quarterback, great talent, he tried to scramble against the Ravens. He gained 2 yards. It was in the red zone. Rowe hit him, crack a rib. He didn't want to rush for the rest of that game. And
Josh Allen's also 40 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, it's true. True. I'm not saying that he's gonna crack a rib to Josh Allen. I'm just saying he's gonna make sure that he feels when he runs. That's all I'm saying.
Problem though with that. Roquan Smith, Jada Daniels, he the bigger fish, right? He might break Jada Daniels. There is not a non-zero chance that Roquan Smith runs into Josh Allen and breaks himself, right? Like, Josh Allen is bigger than Roquan Smith.
He is. I just think
Josh Allen is a brick wall that can throw footballs. I bet you Roquan Smith has had his I'm not running straight into Josh Allen moment already in his career. I promise you, he ain't gonna run into Josh Allen like he be running into Jaden Daniels.
Josh Allen be seeking it out too, bro. He gonna break down. Is seeking you out. He's not running away from anybody.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's running away from him. I'm just saying that he will make him sure that he feels. But
And
anyway,
here's what I'm saying, Sonny. Are you sure that's not the other way around? Like, are you sure Roquan's not going to think about this when he's running straight at Josh Allen? Because, like, it's a different beast, dog.
nah,
That's
Ro's
different.
mentality is hard-hitting guy. But anyways,
he's kind of a bully, you know.
let's
He's kind
go.
of a punch downer, but you know,
Come on, no. Ace, what do you think is gonna happen in this game?
I don't think he goes to somebody bigger than him like that.
So I'm looking at this. So I had to do some quick research real quick with the help of Chat GPT. So might not be the most accurate here.
Oh,
But,
somebody in the chat is going to be very pissed off and tell us that is like using your microwave for 5 hours or some shit.
The Bills apparently are 5-2 in home openers since 2018. So Josh Allen has done this thing. The interesting thing is the Ravens since 2018, since having Lamar, are also 5-2 in week 1 matchups.
Ooh.
And then when you look at what Josh Allen has done the last 3 years, he's had a 4-touchdown game against the Cardinals. He had a 3-touchdown game against the Raiders, and he had another 4-touchdown game against the Titans in 2022. I think that this matchup is going to be a very close game. I think it really actually kind of reminds me of the week 1 matchup last year, which was Kansas City versus the Ravens once again. Where the Ravens had a chip on their shoulder. They were supposed to come out, try to take over. They end up getting the call overturned at the end of the game. I think this game could be very similar. I think, them having to play Buffalo in Buffalo, that crowd is going to be up. That, like, the Bills are going to be ready. They've heard a lot of people say that Josh Allen isn't the real MVP. Everybody was saying it last year. Oh, it should have went to Lamar. I think that this is going to be a personal matchup for both players involved when it comes to that, to prove who was the actual MVP for last year. Obviously, doesn't mean anything now, but them being able to play each other on the field at the same time, I think is going to matter. The Derrick Henry situation is going to be an issue, right? But I'm not so convinced that the Ravens are just going to be able to slow down Josh Allen, especially with him playing at home. I think that this is going to be a shootout. I truly do. I think that they're going to be going at it in this game. I think the Ravens have an advantage on offense from a Zay Flowers standpoint. Isaiah Likely is not playing in this game, right?
Yeah, no, he's out for a couple weeks.
That's going to be a big loss for them.
Have like a ridiculous stat line in the first game of the season every year.
Yeah,
played very well last year against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like 2 years in a row he's had like 5 touchdowns in 2 games in the first 2 games of the season or something like that.
He's an ascending player. I think he's going to be better than Mark Andrews possibly this season. That might be a hot take, but I think he's an ascending player for them.
Whoa.
Ace, I also have a quick note here. So the largest newborn child on record weighed 23 pounds and 12 ounces. It is now the second largest baby, behind Ravens fans still bitching and moaning that Lamar Jackson did not win MVP.
Oh my God. I knew where you were going. These are Ravens fans, bro. First of all, I don't mention it ever, but
I didn't say you in particular, Sonny.
No, I know, but that's not Ravens fan. Like, a bunch of people in the media don't let that go either. I don't know why they don't let it go. He won it. We move on. It's fine if you mention it for like a week. Like for the first week, you can call that like, oh,
it would hit different if it wasn't his like 3rd MVP. You know what I mean?
If Lamar didn't have any MVP, I think Lamar would have won it. But whatever, it is what it is. He won it.
That's why we need to have this week 1 battle. Look, I think
we're gonna settle.
I feel like if I'm going off of the vibes, usually the Ravens, people are scared to play the Ravens that don't play in the AFC North. They usually are way more physical. They're able to bully teams. Like, teams just aren't used to playing the AFC North brand of football, and they're also not used to going against a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. But I think I'm going to go against the panel, and I'm going to take the Bills here. I think the Bills are going to steal one here, week 1, 28-27. They're going to end it on a field goal. They're going to come back. Baltimore's going to get out, start feeling themselves. I think Josh Allen comes back, and he catches them slipping at the very end, and Baltimore is sitting there like, man, how the hell did we let this happen again right after the playoff debacle? So I'm going to take Buffalo
with the choking angle. I like that.
Oh, Ace, I'm almost there. Keep talking. That's don't get me excited like that,
brother. Okay. Well, let me see here the voting. What do you think is the voting?
I assume the Ravens are going to win.
It's probably Ravens.
It's like 80-20 Ravens.
No, it's like 60-40.
60-40 Ravens.
59-41 Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Pretty on point.
Like, I could judge it by like when I talk shit about Roquan, how many people get mad in chat. Like, that's how I know.
that's how you. Okay.
By the way, chat, Raven fans, still waiting for you to send me one fucking Roquan Smith highlight in Baltimore. I'm waiting for it. I've been asking for it for 3 years now, Ace. Just send me the highlight.
You have been
The
asking
big
for it.
Roquan Smith plays. You know what I mean? Like, all I get is, oh, well, he had the 100 combined tackles. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's not what I'm asking for at all.
Okay. AFC game of the week. So I put the new poll out there. Browns and Bengals. AFC North game of matchup of the week. Game of the week. Whatever you want to call it.
I actually set up.
I saw that.
So that if I can
And I
get it
thought
to
with
you
the
right
Jets,
there.
you were gonna put because next to the Jets you had the Dolphins. I thought you were gonna put the Steelers there.
Oh, I should have, but yeah, I mean, so I've got the Steelers helmet there. I got a ball
Next to
I got
your
a-
second
I-
team.
I got a Ben. But the reason I put the Bills there is because there's a Drew Bledsoe Bills bobblehead behind it. And then I got a Joey Harrington and Brian. I've got a whole bunch of goodies back here.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, cost me $3.
Nice. Okay, so matchup of the week: Browns Bengals.
It's a good
This
price.
is gonna be the first AFC North matchup of the year, week 1. You know what? I'll start with the two people that are in this matchup. Q. What do you think is gonna happen? You think Flacco comes there and gives another loss to Zach Taylor in an
I
opener?
think Flacco is not going to be as important in this game as like the Browns offensive line. I really look at it and I think there's two major battles going on here, right? DeJuan Jones is starting at left tackle for the first time in his life, and he's going up against Trey Henderson. Yeah, he's going up against. Well, he might have played at left tackle at Ohio State 1 or 2 games, but it was probably like Marshall or Southwest Ohio State or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't anybody real.
Cornflakes Tech.
Yeah, it was somebody watching this podcast right now probably played in that game. But Trey Henderson, much different beast, right? So how does he hold up against that? I think the Browns aren't going to really want to test it. So I think they're going to run the ball a ton at Cincinnati. I don't think they're going to really say to themselves, hey, let's give Cincinnati's best defensive player 25, 30 dropbacks. You know, if you throw the ball 40 times, you're going to give them 25 true pass sets. You're not trying to give that many opportunities to Trey to try to bust open this game, get a turnover here, and you rather attack some of the other spots here. I think the Browns are going to really be intent on attacking the Cincinnati linebackers, forcing them to tackle their bigger targets. David Njoku's probably going to get the ball a healthy amount. Jerry Jeudy's probably going to get a good amount of targets here. Harold Fannin is somebody I might think we'll see a lot of play, because it's possible that they might just have David Njoku babysit DeJuan Jones with that Trey Henderson matchup, and that ties up David so you can use Harold a little bit more. So I think that's going to be a factor there. On the other side of the ball, it's going to be the battle it's always been. It's always Joe Burrow and Myles Garrett, right? There's a fascinating stat I pulled. Joe Burrow's time to throw last year was 2.71 seconds. On third down, it goes from 2.71 to 2.91. Now, sometimes it's because he gets pressured, but I think oftentimes it's because Joe is a capital G gangster. And what I mean by that is he's not just trying to get the 1 yard on 3rd and 1. Right. The Bengals, by the way, run the ball only 35% on 3rd and short. They're going to throw this bitch all the time. So that's just what they're going to do. So Joe Burrow uses that extra 2 fractions of a second on 3rd down because he knows you're going to be aggressive there. I'm going to be able to get Jamar Chase on something down the field. That's where I'm going to be able to get my chunk plays. Because you look at the Bengals offense last year, it's a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage in the short part of the field. About 65% of the offense last year in the passing offense was in that area. They don't really go downfield as much as you would think when you hear Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, right? They use the intermediate part, but they really do just attack that short part, low you to death on 3rd down, and then that's when they go for a big shot. 13 touchdowns on 3rd down last year for Joe Burrow, is number 1 of all quarterbacks in the NFL. So that's a strategy that they like to do. That's what Joe Burrow likes to attack. It's like a part of his game. It's why he's willing to take the sacks every once in a while. So the real question of this game is, with that 2 extra fractions of a second, who's going to be more dangerous? Is it going to be Myles Garrett or is it going to be Joe Burrow? We've seen what it looks like when it's Myles Garrett. It's going to be more dangerous with that extra 2 fractions of a second. We've also seen what it looks like when it's Joe Burrow that's going to be more dangerous, right? That turns into, you got a hand on him, but Joe Burrow got that shit off the Jamar Chase. He gets 55 yards downfield, flips field position, the momentum's gone. You all of a sudden are in a different spot in the game. For Myles Garrett, if he gets those big sacks, those big plays on Joe Burrow, well, that's going to really set back the Bengals offense. Have to have them lean on this defense more. The more the Bengals have to lean on the defense, the more favorable of a position you think you're going to be if you're the Cleveland Browns. That's the battle, right? Can DeJuan Jones hold up against Trey Henderson? And can Myles Garrett, who's going to take advantage of those extra 2.5 seconds with 2 fractions of a second on third down? Myles or Joe Burrow? That's really what's going to be determining this game. I think the Browns are going to win this game. I don't know why. I'm just very confident coming into this week. I think the Browns are going to win it. I think the Bengals are going to address a good amount of their slow start stuff on offense. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they didn't play in the preseason. They didn't have like a ton of chemistry. They do a lot of short game stuff. The timing isn't right at the beginning of the season. They're going to have that part figured out. But I do think there are some other issues that pop up with them at the beginning of the season that they're just going to have to iron out as they come. And protection's one of them. The Browns' defensive line is real. Myles Garrett is real. Mason Graham is really, really good. They got 4 or 5 guys they could throw at you on the defensive interior that are going to be able to create pressure on a consistent basis. I wouldn't sleep on guys like Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire, right? I know the national audience isn't very familiar with these guys, but they're going to get pressure. They're going to win some one-on-one battles if they get them, and they're most certainly going to get these one-on-one battles. The big question for the Browns, how healthy they're going to be at linebacker. Does Devin Bush get suspended? It doesn't look like he is. If they're healthy at linebacker, I think they can hold up well enough in the secondary. I also think the Bengals are going to attack the shit out of Greg Newsome, right? Like that's got to be the plan. You're going to throw right at Greg Newsome. You're going to throw right at the slot. That's why I think the linebackers are going to be very important because they're going to be able to discourage Joe from going there. But yeah, it's going to be what we've seen when we see the Browns and the Bengals play. It's always a good game. The reason it's a good game is we're seeing 2 of the best guys at the position try to fight over these little fractions of a second on these key critical downs. And, it can be anybody who wins those battles. But when it's in Cleveland, and the Browns are healthy, and I think they're going to have a functional enough offense to where I think they're not going to be a disaster like they were under Deshaun Watson last year. I think I take Cleveland in this battle because I think Myles is going to be able to get there with the extra help that he has on the defensive line this year.
Is the game in Cleveland?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in Cleveland.
Ace, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think coming into this game, I think that this is a big opportunity for the Bengals. They've gotten off the slow starts. They haven't been able to get the offense going week 1. This is also a divisional game, so it gives you a really unique opportunity to not only get to 1-0, but be first in the division just because you have that divisional record of 1-0 there. And I think that this is, just the right time for them to try to grab this opportunity by their horns and try to go out there and win it. Joe Burrow's had one of the best off seasons he's had in quite some time. We've got T. Higgins done. We've got the contract situation done, so that's no longer looming. Jamar Chase is going to be able to play free. The way that I see that this game is going to break down, I do think and agree with Q that the Browns are going to try to run the ball. And I think that that's their best strategy in this one because you cannot get into a shootout with Joe Burrow with Joe Flacco at quarterback. You just are not going to be able to win the ball game that way. Nothing against Joe Flacco, but he's just, it's Joe Flacco versus Joe Burrow.
No matter who your quarterback is with the Cincinnati man, right? Like even if you have a great one, they got more. They got more missiles, right?
Yeah. So for me, I think Myles Garrett is the reason why we have 2 new offensive tackles, right? That's why we went out and got guys that are 6'8", 340 pounds because of Myles Garrett. He's obviously going to be the primary guy that they're gonna have something for. You can never just hope to, even though Marius Mims did very well against them, blanked them last time. You can't hang your hat on that. You're not going to blank Myles Garrett every single time, every matchup that you have him. So obviously you need to know where Myles is when it comes to that. The thing that's interesting for me, and I think that Cleveland is probably going to be like, what the hell is Ace talking about? The biggest loss, I think, for Cleveland, even though he didn't play well last year, is Martin Emerson. The reason why Martin Emerson is a big body corner that makes it hard on T. Higgins. That's one of the reasons that the Browns give us so much trouble. You have a small, shifty guy in Denzel Ward that can match up with Chase, and then you have the big body guy in Martin Emerson that can hang with T. In that perspective, them not having Martin Emerson, I think is going to hurt them from a T. Higgins perspective. And then what Q also said is, are they going to move someone in the slot? Well, last year, the Bengals put Jamar in the slot a lot. I don't know if Denzel will trail him. I would expect that he would. But if Cam Mitchell is on Jamar Chase in the slot, that is going to be a problem.
It's going to be
that is going to be a problem.
That's going to be rotisserie chicken.
But I think the issue for the Bengals that we haven't seen, I think we've seen in this preseason, the defense didn't look good. I am worried about what that Browns running attack is going to be able to do against the Bengals defense. We got new linebackers there. We haven't really gotten to see what TJ Slayton really is. We just signed Mike Pennell from the Chiefs to try to help against the run. That's the one concern that I do have when it comes to the Bengals. Are they going to be able to stop the run? Because that's going to be the key to victory in this game. If they cannot stop the run, Cleveland's going to be able to control the clock. And if Myles Garrett is able to get pressure and they're able to make plays, it's going to be tough for the Bengals where that offense might be going against the clock versus going against Joe Flacco. So that's a situation that the Bengals could get into where they might find themselves in trouble. However, the thing that gives me some solace in that is the fact that I feel like the Browns' best running back might not even be available for this game. So Jerome Ford is a quality running back, but I'm just not as scared of him as some of the other guys that could potentially be there from that perspective. When we get to the offensive side of what Cleveland is going to do, Jerry Jeudy is the guy, right? We got Jerry Jeudy at the wide receiver position. This is actually something that I think is going to be interesting for the Bengals, because if this were a team that had like 2 or 3 receivers, I'm probably worried about it because I have questions about DJ Turner, Dax Hill, and Cam Taylor-Britt. This is a situation where I think that since Jerry Jeudy, I believe, played in the slot about 56 or 52% of the time last season, I think you'll see a spell between Cam Taylor-Britt on him as well as Dax Hill. And I actually like Dax Hill. Dax Hill played pretty well last year. He has the athleticism. And I think in this situation, in the circumstances, when you're looking at Jamari Thrash, when you're looking at Cedric Tillman, you're going to probably double Jerry Jeudy in this situation. The only person that's going to be able to get up out of there, I think from that perspective, is Njoku, like Q was saying. But I don't think that their goal is to throw the football. I truly don't. So I do favor the Bengals from a secondary perspective in this game, just because I think if you double team Jeudy, you're going to have to obviously worry about Njoku. But from a receiver position, Cedric Tillman and Jamari Thrash are just going to have to prove it to me. They're going to have to prove that I need to take this double team off of Jerry Jeudy in order for us to make that adjustment. So I think the biggest thing with Cincinnati is I don't think that they're going to come out and score 10 points like they did last week. I think the offense is going to be humming, especially from what I saw in the preseason. But here's the other thing. You're not just dealing with Jamar Chase. You're not just dealing with T. Higgins. The guys that could also eat are the guys that aren't those guys. So Noah Fant is also there. Now you also have Mike Gesicki. Could the Bengals be looking at targeting those guys and Yoshi Voss if all of the attention is going to be on Jamar Chase? Those are options that they're going to have, I think, at their disposal. And it wouldn't shock me if Noah Fant out of nowhere just gets a rando touchdown or something like that, where Joe is trying to utilize his weapons in this matchup. I think that Denzel Ward plays the best on Jamar Chase. I have seen Denzel Ward shut Jamar Chase down. I've seen Jamar Chase score on Denzel Ward. The one thing that I haven't seen is Jamar Chase have one of those crazy 200-yard games or anything like that. That's not going to happen against Denzel Ward. I don't think you need that to happen to get out of here with the win. I'm taking the Bengals in this one, but I think that the Browns are going to be a tough out. They're going to play good defense. They're going to run the ball. They're going to get back to what Kevin Stefanski usually likes to do, which is running the ball, playing hard defense. And if you allow them to, they can steal the game from you. So this is not just a straight up Cincinnati is going to go in there and win this game. They're going to have to fight for it. And it's going to come down to, like Q was saying, it's going to come down to the trenches. And it's going to come down to which offense can score more and which defense can make bigger plays. And so I'm going to take Cincinnati in this one. I think it's still going to be a tough one. It's always a tough one when these two teams play. So I'm taking the Bengals.
See, the crazy thing, I said earlier that week 1 is the hardest week to predict, right? Because you don't know about the different teams. In the case of the Ravens and Buffalo, I said those teams are very similar to last year. The Browns have new quarterback, new running back, O-line fairly the same. On the defensive side, the corners, as I said, Emerson not being there. There's question marks in the secondary. Linebacking core, new, although I love him. What was the nickname that they're giving to him?
Sunshine or?
Yeah. What is the nickname that you were saying the other day? Something Thor? I forgot. Whatever it is. I like him a lot, but still rookie, new guy. And on the other side, the Bengals offensively are pretty. They are what they are. They are the same as last year, in my opinion. Different running back-ish, but they are who they are. Receiving wise, tight end, they upgraded a little bit. O-line, basically the same. Defensively, they're a question mark. But if I go with that, well, the only thing that is worrying me about this game, which is there's no other than historically the Bengals don't win early in the season. I don't have anything to map that to like, oh, they should lose because this, right? I think in this game, and the more I'm looking at this game, I think the Browns can hang into that game. And if they're able to force sacks and turnovers, they can win the game. My assumption is that the Bengals are not gonna allow their, even if they need to put, I don't know, 7 in the box to prevent Myles Garrett to wreck this game, they're not gonna allow that to happen. And even if they had to say only Chase, T, and one tight end out there, I think those three, who pick whoever, Gesicki or Noah Fant, those three are gonna be enough to move the ball. So I have that in that one side. And if I flip on the other side, although I love Joe Flacco, obviously soft spot for Joe Flacco. And Flacco is very streaky, and I can see him definitely against this defense is streaky and pass the ball and get a ton of completion, a lot of yards, and move the ball. The problem is Flacco also then gets happy, vibing, and then he would throw a pick to Geno Stone for no reason, for no absolute reason. He might not even have pressure.
Throwing picks for the plot. Like he'd be like, let me just see if we can spice this up, dog. I remember he did that shit versus the Texans one time. We was up like 28-10, and he was like,
not even pressure. He's like, let me see.
No, he's just sitting there. Like that's the thing. Is like when he's super comfortable back there, that's like, oh yeah, he about to just try some shit. Throw it down there. Oh, guess I threw an interception. And then he got knocked out the game. We had to play DTR for the rest of the game. I was like, no audacity of this, man.
But anyway, those things is why I'm leaning the Bengals. It's going to be a close game. If anything, again, it's that first couple of weeks Bengal vibe that I can't explain. Look, the Patriots were, in my opinion, last year Patriots are a worse team than this year's Browns, and the Bengals couldn't beat them. So definitely there's a chance there for the Browns to win. And if they lose, I think, Jerry, you were talking about if the Steelers lose to the Jets, the vibes in the locker room. If the Bengals lose to the Browns, that vibe is going to be horrible because all they have talked about through the whole offseason is it's not because of the Browns, Q. It's more all the vibes has been we have to win this first game. We have to.
I would just make this point, though. They have lost so much early in the regular season that, like, yeah, they want to win. I don't think they're really freaking out because they've gotten through it before, you know, especially remember the year they were like 0-3 in the division and Ace was like, we're good.
We're last year, yeah.
And we were laughing at him and he ended up being fine. I think they're like, they have dug themselves out this hole so consistently that I think they're going to like.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that he cannot, the Bengals cannot flip it and make the playoffs if they lose the first game. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is more like mentally, they have circled game one. And it didn't matter if it was the Browns or whoever the team was, really. Even if it would have been the Chiefs, Baltimore, whoever it was, they were circling that, saying we have to start different. Joe Burrow has talked about it. And I, you know, it's not I'm disagreeing with them. And they have played through the preseason. Oh, we're going to get this funk out of us. So I think if they lose, definitely the doubts can start, right? Like, what happened? What can we do? Definitely for Zach Taylor, not for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow will be fine.
I'm like, I don't know who's gonna be doubting. Like, they gonna be like
Zach Taylor's. In my opinion, Zach Taylor definitely gonna be.
I think if they got to 0-2, it'd be some doubt there. But I think 0-1,
1-5 or something like that. Then I'm like, all right, this is just so fucking.
I think the media would have a field day for sure. They wouldn't be able to say anything to the media.
If they start 1-5, I think fans are going to burn down the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I don't know. They trust Joe Burrow so much, though. As long as he's healthy, they'll be like, oh, yeah, Joe's going to fix it. But like, I would have to be at the point if y'all was a Bengals fan where you're like, okay, Zach's got to go, bro.
Of course.
Everything.
I mean, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm there already. I have zero faith in Zach Taylor.
By the way, so I have the Bengals by a touchdown, but I can see the Browns, if pressure is applied consistently or sacks are getting to Joe Burrow and a turnover here or there happens, I can see the Browns flipping it, but I think the Bengals take the funk out and win the first game. Jarrett.
I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but it doesn't come with a lot of confidence simply because of recent history. When is the last time they won a Week 1 game?
3 years ago, Jace.
It's been a while. I think Zach Taylor is like 1-11 since.
It's got to be in the first 2
The last time we won a first Week 1, I want to say was the Vikings the year we drafted Jamar Chase because he went off in that game. His first catch was like a touchdown. I'm pretty sure that was the last time or the only time that they won Week 1 in the Zach Taylor era.
So that would be what, 2021?
Yep, 2021.
Good Lord.
2021.
So yeah, it's not good.
That was the last one.
Yeah.
So I mean, that alone keeps me a little bit weary.
They have like the best history,
right? Like usually those, I mean, at minimum split with the Browns. Like these games usually come down to the wire, and Cleveland usually wins one of them. So that has me a little bit weary. I'm gonna pick the Bengals, but I think what's the spread, like 5.5?
Hold on, I had it up here. I think
has Joe Burrow beat the Browns in Cleveland when like Deshaun Watson isn't there yet? It has to have happened, right?
Oddly specific criteria there.
Deshaun is the one
5.5
quarterback that can't beat the Bengals for the Browns, but like literally every single one of them else. I think
there was one of them Deshaun won because it was when Joe first came back and was hurt.
2023.
Yeah.
5.5 is the spread.
Okay, yeah. So I might pick the Browns to cover that. I'm going to cautiously pick the Bengals and hope that they have their shit together come Sunday. If they don't, man, like they're going to have to like talk to the league next year to see if they can play like Youngstown State Week 1. Just to...
Whoa. No, he got straight there.
Whoa, what was that? Slippery rock?
I mean that was just the first school in Ohio that wasn't Ohio State.
You couldn't say St. Francis. You got a bunch of schools out there. You had to go to Youngstown. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was the first not Ohio State school that came to mind. It wasn't a direct shot.
At least it felt like one.
At least it wasn't purposely one.
It felt targeted.
Yeah,
no, it felt like it was for me.
The Penguins of Youngstown.
What do you guys think is the fan vote here?
It's gonna be some Browns fans in there. I think it's gonna be pretty
60-40 Browns.
60-40 Browns. How do you think, Ace? What are you saying?
I'm gonna say 55-45 Bengals.
Jarrett?
I'll 53-47 Bengals.
47. This guy's unique.
It's 55-45.
Yeah.
Browns.
Oh,
there it is.
Yep.
Browns. Okay, Get Flow here says Bengals can't be 0-2 because next 4 games are tough. I'm assuming
I don't think that they're going to get off to a slow
it
start
felt like
this
the
season.
league was like trying to give them something. Like,
the league was
Browns,
trying
we're going to give you the Jaguars. Please split those at minimum. Like, please start at least 1-1.
Yeah. You got to do that for one for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That said, I picked the Jaguars to win the AFC South, so I don't think that's going to be a gimme game.
I think the Jaguars always let you down when you think they're going to be a sleeper.
Hey, 2022, they made me look like a genius.
Dude,
you got it because every year I'm like, oh, the Jags are going to surprise some people. I look like a fucking asshole.
I still think the Texans win that division. Okay.
Who else is in that division? It's like what, Jacksonville,
Titans,
Houston,
Colts.
Titans, and who?
Colts. Yeah.
Well, the Colts are starting Daniel Jones. They're not winning anything. No. So yeah, this is like the bottom 2 teams you can just cut out there. And then, like, I want to go with Jacksonville, but I saw them lose to 2024 Deshaun Watson last year, and it's not like that roster.
That was a bad vibes team. It's completely different. I believe.
I mean, they lost to the baddest vibe of all time.
I understand that.
Q, I guess before we close the string, there's
the vibes collided, and their vibes were worse than the Browns' vibes last year, which is fucking incredible.
There's 2 questions looming out there for the Browns that I forgot to mention. Have you heard what's going on with Jenkins, the running back?
Oh yeah, he ain't playing this week.
Well, no, I know he hasn't signed, but what is the holdout? Like we hammer blanking on your boy Ace Stewart.
Shamar Stewart,
yeah. And then we had Jenkins here.
Well,
he's about to start.
It's actually kind of related to Shamar Stewart thing, because you remember Shamar Stewart's thing was about, hey, what's the language about voiding the guarantees if there is a suspension? And Shamar Stewart's whole point, which was valid, I haven't done shit. Why are you trying to do this?
Right.
Quinshawn has done something, and he's still trying to fight the same battle that Shamar is, and the Browns aren't wavering on that. So,
okay. And then I saw somebody saying that Watson might be back this year.
Everybody says that every other week, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was surprised because
they always try to jump scare us like Watson's going to come back. Even if he comes back, they're not going to. They aren't invested in playing Deshaun Watson this year. If he plays because you have no quarterbacks left, maybe. But they got Bailey Zappi. Like this again. This team's carrying 4 quarterbacks right now. You think they're trying to see Deshaun Watson at any point? You know, so they're not going to play Deshaun. And then I know people were worried about Miles. He's going to play in this game.
Okay, and then Noah Stone here says no more restrictions for Tom. He is free. I don't know what he's talking about.
Tom Brady doesn't have any sort, like he can be in the production meetings and whatnot for Fox.
So is he not affiliated with the Raiders anymore?
No, he is.
So why can't
you just let him do whatever he wants?
They just let him do it. Yeah,
I guess.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, well, that's the thing.
I wonder if he really just doesn't do shit there in Las Vegas, and he's just more of a figurehead.
I feel like he's like similar to like the king or queen of England. He's just like the figurehead, doesn't really have any power.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not making decisions. You know what I mean?
Minority owner.
Yeah, he's a minority. Like Vince Carter's a minority owner of the Bills. He doesn't get say over who they sign or anything like that. Now, Tom Brady probably has a lot more.
Is he even a minority owner? Is it one of those situations where he has like an investment in an investment that has a stake in the team?
I don't know exactly what his is.
It's usually that.
I think that's probably what Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady have in the Bills. Like it's something small like that. I would assume
Tracy McGrady.
Yeah, Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady are like minority owners of the Bills
because it's kind of like Canada up there.
Yeah,
but
well, Tracy McGrady played for the Raptors for a minute.
Yeah, but he fucking hated playing for the Raptors.
Yeah. He did. He did. He has a 5% stake in what they're calling a limited partnership.
Yeah. Oh, so it's not 5% of the
and
Bills.
It's a 5% stake in the team through a partnership with some guy named Tom Wagner.
This is an NFT,
he is not involved in day-to-day operations, but has restrictions on his Fox commentator duties. So, yeah, he's not involved in I mean, look at their quarterback. Of course, he's not involved in day-to-day operations.
Right.
Gino.
Sorry, Gino. Sorry you had to catch that straight.
Yeah, I was going to say
yeah.
Gino. And then our guy Amari Cooper, he was there for a week and retired. Anyway,
yeah, that was crazy.
Bro spent 3 days in practice with Kenny Pickett and said, "All right, fuck this,
I'm done."
No, he looked over. I know they ain't who I think it is. Like big boy ATL. And then Michael Gallup was like, "Yeah, bro, I left too."
Good Lord.
Because then Michael Gallup retired last year.
I thought Michael Gallup was still in the league.
So I think he did it earlier this season, right? Like Michael Gallup retired. He got over there. It was like, nah, bro. They told me Tom was here on it. It ain't nobody. It's like going to a Vegas flyer party that you get. Like you ever be on the strip and these people hand out the flyers on the street and you go to the party and it's like Gucci gonna be there and it's not Gucci there. It's not Gucci there. No. Yeah, he's just like, I got scammed. That's how it felt like when they showed up at the practice facility, where they were like, this ain't praise, this dross.
So Gallup signed a 1-year deal last year with Vegas and quickly retire after being there for a couple of weeks.
I mean, last year that makes sense. You show up, you see Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew throwing you the ball. I can think of better things to do too.
Hey man, I just like to point out Geno Smith is not young.
He's not.
We talk about that mid-30s being a brutal point for athletes, where it's like, hey, bro, it could go fast at any point.
Yeah, I mean, I like Geno's fine. He's the most overrated quarterback by like all the film bros on Twitter. It's very annoying.
Yeah, now he plays for the Raiders.
Good luck, bud.
Yeah, it's not gonna be.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to they'll lose to the Patriots this Sunday by 10, and then Nate Tice will tweet a video of an 8-yard dig that Geno throws. They're like, look at that! I'm like, yeah, dude, who gives a shit? They lost. He went 17 of 30 for $190. Like, let's calm down.
So
we're gonna have the conversation. Should Geno be throwing the ball 40 times when you drafted Ashton Genty in the top 10?
So a couple of things
Yeah,
as we
that's a good point.
finish this episode. Go check Chubby's link in the description below. We're
Yeah.
coming back on Tuesday, recapping this week's game. Last but not least, go check out between Twitter and YouTube posts. I'm gonna be posting a Survivor League, so you can sign up.
Oh yeah, are we gonna make our? Should we make our picks here, like our unofficial picks for the Survivor League? I think that'd be kind of fun.
The league is not up yet, but we can
That's
we can
okay.
talk about it. We can talk about it. I can tell you who I pick. I'm in another league.
Okay, yeah. Let me get this up here. Let me look at the full slate of games, and I'll get my Survivor in front of me.
It is not by line, so it's straight up like a money line.
Are you going to be able to keep up with these 4 commercials they're going to be putting on the red zone?
Yeah, they're sending like everybody, like McAfee and Schefter, to talk about how commercials are okay. Fuck off.
I'm picking the Cardinals.
Who are the Raiders playing?
The
Patriots.
Raiders are playing the Patriots.
Oh, nah, I can't pick that one.
Any Drake
I
May
can't pick
believers?
that.
You're
I'm
not
picking
believing
the
in Drake May?
Cardinals.
The Patriots will be a playoff team this year.
Oh, so you're picking the Patriots here? Against the
Oh,
Raiders?
They're not my Survivor pick.
Oh,
I mean,
wait,
that's not
wait.
too crazy to pick.
I don't think
them
that's
up.
too
More
crazy.
about this. The Patriots going to make the playoff thing.
Number 7 seed, final seed in the wild card.
You think they're going to get the 7th seed? Are you
Yeah.
a big Drake May guy?
I'm a big Drake May guy, yes.
Oh,
And
Who's the other two
I'm
guys?
also a big Vrabel guy. Like he's proven winner
okay.
with
Making
under.
sense,
Yeah, you know, he took the Titans to the number 1 seed. Like I believe in my.
That was a
Vrabel.
good Titans team. I feel
It
like
wasn't. It wasn't. It was Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. It wasn't a good team. It was Derrick Henry.
It was peak Derrick Henry, and it was not a bad version of Ryan Tannehill.
I might take the Jags, Sonny. I see why you're
Arthur
taking the
Smith was
Cardinals.
cooking. Like that team might have been better than we thought, man. Like
They weren't a horrible team. They weren't a great
Jeffrey
team.
Simmons, good defense. Like
I got to push back. I don't think that would, like, nobody in their right mind thought that team was going to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
no, they weren't going to beat the Chiefs, but they were a solid team.
I didn't say they were horrible,
Yeah,
but
they were
like
it
I
wasn't
never
like strength for them to be like in the playoffs in the second round. You know what I mean?
but I would never like if like, when the
Ravens at one
Steelers
time, Sonny remembers that.
when the Steelers would play the Titans, I would never be like, oh no, they're playing the Titans. I'd be like, oh good, they're playing the Titans.
No, they were definitely the Mendoza line. If you couldn't beat the Titans, you weren't real.
Right.
But like they were like the Chiefs when they had Alex Smith. You know, like it wasn't. They weren't chopped liver. They were a really good team. They just didn't have good enough quarterback to be dangerous.
We're doing this on Friday, like right before Chargers Chiefs. My Survivor pick is going to be the Chiefs.
Just now.
Chargers Chiefs.
I think mine might be the Jags, bro.
Jaguars over. Who do the Jags play? They play the Panthers. Oh, that's not a bad shout.
You know what? I like the Panthers. I'm not taking them as my Survivor pick.
I was gonna say that's a risky move there, sir.
Who's the best player on the Panthers?
Pro Bowl this year.
Who's the best player? J.C. Horn and who?
Jason on the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard's not bad. Okay,
Chuba Hubbard's fine, but like nobody's laying awake saying, "Fuck, we gotta play Chuba Hubbard. We're fucked."
Bryce has been improving pretty steadily.
He's throwing to me and you, Q.
They got Tat. Hold on, that lost audio here, so I can't hear you guys.
They got Ted.
They got Tat.
Leggett.
I also don't think I'm a big Tet guy. Maybe that's it.
They got Moxie. That's what they got, Jared.
Okay, so I'm putting it in the chat. I just created it. I just created the league.
Ashawn Robinson. I haven't heard.
AFC NT is the code for you to join. By the way,
That's so. I always love that. Oh, they got pride. Yeah, I bet they're gonna be pretty damn proud when they're down 20.
So wait.
Here again now. Okay.
Hey, who you got?
I'm taking the Jaguars, bro, over the Panthers. Yeah,
You
give me
mean the Jaguars?
Yep.
Who you taking, Jared?
I'm taking the Chiefs to beat the Chargers as my lock.
Okay, so sign up soon. I put the link
All
in our chat.
right. Who's my lock?
I
This
picked the
week?
Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I'll go do this right now.
You picked the Arizona Cardinals.
I guess the Aints.
You know what? My lock's gonna be Pittsburgh.
The Steelers.
You're a dick. You know what you're doing.
What?
You know what you're doing. You don't actually believe that.
Believing in the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Like, believe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You believe in them as much as I believe in Carolina. Yeah, whatever.
I believe in Pittsburgh a lot more than you believe in Carolina.
That's fair. No. That's fair. That was unfair of me. I'm sorry. That was fair enough.
They got D.
Survivor
Brown.
link in
They got
the
D. Brown
description.
over there, Jared. You know, they got D. Brown.
I just think that the AFC West is the most overrated division in football right now. And everybody's saying the Chargers are finally going to do it for the 5th straight year, or that
Every year.
the Broncos are
Every year.
magically going to actually be able to beat good teams this year. Like, all right, yep. Good luck.
I think Mac Jones season 2 is about to happen to Bo Nix right here.
I don't know if it'll be that extreme, but I think it won't be very good.
Yeah, I think it'll be like, all right, guys.
Ace, did it work for you, the link? And Jared?
Yeah, I just gotta figure. I deleted my Yahoo email.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is Yahoo, so I gotta. This is
You can sign in with Gmail. I signed up with Gmail. I don't have a
sign in
Gmail.
with Gmail.
Yeah, I did it with Gmail.
We're getting in. All right, I got it.
Okay, I still got to log in here.
So, hey, description is there. The link is there, and then when the video finish, I'll put it in the description if you're watching the replay.
Boom.
Also, there's a prize for the winner, so make sure you sign up. Sign up will be by Sunday. Whoever signs before the game starts, and then we'll lock it.
Tank top.
So, and again, thank you for Chubby's for sponsoring this show. Hey, go get into the league. We'll see you on Tuesday recapping what happened this week. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.